Hi, it's Therese and Lostinpaper, and I'm really excited to start my new series today, and it's Back to Basics with card making. Today I'm going to go through a few of the basic products that you need and creating a card base. So start with an A4 piece of cardstock, and I know when I started making cards I basically got an envelope and just cut a piece of cardstock to fit inside that, but it's much easier than that. It's simply an A5 size card is half of an A4, and an A6 size card, which is your regular size of card, is basically an A4 cut into two. I'll show you what I mean. Now we've got our A4 piece of cardstock cut into two, we can create an A6 card by simply folding that over. To get a nice crease line though, it's handy to have a tool like this Martha Stewart's scoreboard, and you can simply just score your lines with the tool provided, and creates a valley, which is the indented side, and a mountain. The valley is the fold that goes on the outside, and then you can simply just fold that and there'll be no cracking in your cardstock. And you can also use a tool to burnish the edge so that you get a nice crisp fold in your card. This card can either be used as a landscape or portrait. So the other style of card that you commonly see is a top fold, which is simply an A4 piece of cardstock cut lengthways and then scored down the centre. And this can either be used as a landscape or portrait as well. So for me, a lot of card making is about stamping, and there's three different kinds that you can get. So there's wood mounted, cling and clear. So they all do the same thing. It comes down to personal preference, and I have a bit of everything here. Some people prefer to use the wood mounted stamps. They like the impression that the red rubber gives, and I find they're a little bit bulky for storage, and they tend to be a little bit more expensive as well. A good compromise is the cling stamps. You're still getting the red rubber impression, but you don't have the storage issues. They're a lot smaller without the wood, and all you need is a clear block, and that will replace that. So you can use that, will cling to the block, and then you can pick it up and add your ink and stamp. So that works really well. But probably my favourite, and most of my stamps are the clear style here. The better quality ones are the photopolymer, and these stamp really beautifully. You get lots of stamps generally with such a variety of images and sentiments, and they're really good value, and they don't take up a lot of space either in your stash. These are the same as the cling in that you just stick them to your block, and they have some advantages too in that you can actually see exactly where you're going to be stamping with them. So next I want to talk to you about inks, and you do need a few different kinds for different reasons, but you don't have to have everything straight away. They're a good thing that you build in your stash over time. It is important to have a good black ink that will give you a really nice impression. This VersaFine Onyx Black is my favourite. It's pigment ink, so it is a little bit slower drying, but I use it for a lot of my sentiments, also for colouring. If I want to use Prismacolor pencils or Inktense pencils, I'll use that. I like the Memento Tuxedo Black for my Copic colouring, and I'm also trying out My Favourite Things Black Licorice at the moment. The Versamark is a really handy ink pad to have. This is a clear sticky ink that you can use this for lots of techniques, like creating a watermark. Also, it's good for heat embossing if you're wanting to do that on a project. And a standalone ink is distress ink. So this is one that reacts with water, and it can be used for so many different techniques. You can actually even use this one to watercolour with. It's brilliant. So when it comes to cutting tools, a paper trimmer is invaluable, And you can also use these to score your cards if you haven't got a scoreboard. They have a groove where the blade cuts, so you can simply line your card up and use your bone folder and create your crease that way. You'll need a pair of scissors. I like my spring scissors. These are made by Tonic, I think. I've had them for so many years and they still cut like butter. Good for cutting out little images, ribbon, ends, anything like that. So it's helpful to have a few different kinds of adhesive. I like to add dimension to my projects, so foam squares are really good for this, and lots of different kinds of these on the market and different heights and brands. Good liquid adhesive is also handy. I like the Tombow Mono. This is fairly fast drying and can also be used as a removable adhesive. My current favourite dry adhesive is a Stamp Runner, which is also made by Tombow, and it's refillable. You could use whatever you have on hand. If you've got a glue stick or tacky glue, you know, all those things will work just as well. When it comes to cardstock and design papers, the world's your oyster. So many different colours and brands, and it's just a matter of having a look and shopping around and finding what you like. I like to use the 6x6 paper pads because they generally have a smaller designs on the pattern, on the paper, and they're perfect for card making and very affordable as well. So if you've seen any of my YouTube videos, you know that I love to colour, and probably my two favourite mediums are my Copic markers and my Prismacolor pencils. I also like to do watercolour. I use my Distress marker and ink pads and my Derwent Inktense pencils. These products can be quite expensive, so it does pay to have a bit of a practice and a play, maybe at a friend's house or at your local store before you invest, just to see what suits you and what you like. So these few goodies that I've shared with you today are really just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many different kinds of embellishments, there's so many different techniques in card making and styles, and it's just a matter of trying to work out what makes you smile. So over the next few weeks I'm going to share some basic card making skills as well as some tips and tricks for those of you who need to get your mojo back. So I look forward to seeing you then. Stay tuned and we'll have some fun. Bye.